Fail? I dare you. Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. Those words, spoken by the charismatic 35th President of the United States, Robert Kennedy, have deeply inspired me. Today, I would like to tell you two stories about two people who turned their failure into success. The first story is about Steve Jobs. You probably heard of him. Most people just know that he is one of the founders of Apple. But actually, the story of his life is far more interesting. Steve Jobs was born out of wedlock, then put up for adoption at birth. He never graduated from university. In fact, he dropped out after just one semester. The required classes didn't interest him, so he decided to drop in on those that seemed interesting. The things he learned helped him later in life when he designed the Mac. Steve Jobs started the company Apple in his garage, and after it became a successful multi-million-dollar company, Steve got fired from it. Yeah, I know it seems ridiculous. How could he get fired from a company he started? Well, he did. The board of directors let him go. So he was out, and very publicly out. The higher you are, the further you fall, they say. And at that point, Steve felt devastated. But then he realized that he still loved what he did. In his commencement speech at Stanford University, Steve Jobs admitted that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have happened to him. He decided to begin anew, started a company called Next, Pixar, and later met his wife. None of that would have happened if he hadn't gotten fired from Apple. Later on, Apple bought Next, and in that interesting turn of events, Steve returned to Apple. The great Oprah Winfrey believes that failure is another stepping stone to greatness. If we transform our minds and embrace this attitude, we will not be stopped by failure. This brings me to my second story, a very personal one. The story is about me and about a time of great adversity in my life. When I was in junior high school, I promised myself that in the second class of high school, I would be the president of my beloved school. It was my biggest dream. It might seem odd to some, but coming from a broken home and having moved 4 times in 3 years, the only place I felt good was in my school. I wanted to leave a part of me in that school, that sacred place forever. So when the time finally came, I signed up to run for president. I was so excited. My dream was about to become reality. But nothing went as planned. The campaign was a nightmare. I didn't sleep, lost a lot of weight, and much of my savings on promotional materials. What's worse is that I lost friends. But the hardest thing was that I also lost my best friend, a person that I thought would be by my side forever. I felt completely alone. Even though it was a brutal and dirty campaign, I did the best I could and got through it. Then I lost. I built a campaign, was a victim of hate and lies, and in the end I lost. And it hurt. But this failure taught me things about myself that I could have learned no other way. I discovered exactly how much strong will I had, how hard I was to break, and that even when faced with hate and lies, I was able to rise above it all with class and grace. I found out who my true friends are. But I also met a lot of new amazing people, and I'm so grateful for all of that. Was I sad I didn't win the election? I think the answer is obvious. Of course I was. But that couldn't stop me from doing what I truly love, serving others and doing something for the community of my school. One of my campaign promises was to cooperate with the Center of Women's Rights in Gdańsk. Women were always important to me. I was raised by 2 incredible women, my mother and my sister. So I decided to create a club in my school which would encourage self-acceptance among young women. A club to motivate young women to obtain education about their legal rights and seek psychological help as needed. My partner in crime, Julia, a wonderful girl I met during my campaign who soon became my new best friend. We came up with an idea to publish a calendar showing ordinary, but at the same time extraordinary women who are students or alumni of my high school. During the preparations, I met so many wonderful people and ended up having the time of my life. We organized a professional photo shoot and a wonderful gala to unveil the calendar. It turned out to be a huge success even during the coronavirus pandemic. American self-help care author Napoleon Hill claimed that most people have achieved their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure. I achieved my greatest success just one step beyond my greatest failure. You know, it is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well be dead weight. Author and motivational speaker Dennis Waitley reminds us that failure should be our teacher, not undertaker. Failure is delay, not defeat. It is a temporary detour, not a dead end. Failure is something you can avoid only by saying nothing, doing nothing, and being nothing. So don't just sit and do nothing. Fail, I dare you. Thank you.